Stocks our strategists feel are poised to deliver positive returns are featured now in their top stock picks of the week.
Hey everybody, Cooker here. My top pick is Vertex Pharmaceuticals. They just reported last week, and estimates are on the rise, thus a Zacks #1 rank. Let's take a look at those estimates. Boom, here, we'll go to the detailed estimates page. And while that's loading, let's take a look at the price action. So they reported on the 26th, nice beats, nice raised guidance, little delayed reaction because the stock, tried to go higher on Thursday, and then the buyers came through on Friday with the market bounce. So we had a nice 6.5% up day on Friday with good volume. Now it's holding and consolidating here. Let's take a look at a weekly chart so we can get an idea of what resistance it has to overcome. Full disclosure, I am long Vertex for the Healthcare Innovators portfolio. And boy, you got some great chances to buy under 200 if you wanted in the past almost 6 months. But look at this. We've already cleared this peak in from January of 21. So that really bodes well for continued upside to 270. In fact, we'll talk about some price targets there. So general look feel, we'll just look at a summary here on the trading view. So let's see if it's got the guidance here. Yeah, so company said it expects product revenue in the range of $8.4 billion to $8.6 billion, and consensus is like 8.2. So that's a really nice guidance bump. By the way, if you don't know who Vertex Pharmaceuticals is, this is the franchise owner, the category of one in treating cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a disease of the mucous membranes, which can cause big problems for the lungs. It's inherited, or it's genetic rather. So when children, are born with it, then they can have much difficulty as they're growing up with mucus in their lungs. While Vertex came up with a treatment, and they just keep making it better. In fact, now they've got like a triple combo regime, which is extending life of kids with cystic fibrosis who typically may only live until they're, say, 30 years old. And it's also making things easier on families. So let's go to the detailed estimates and just get a snapshot of what they're doing with them. Oh wait, here's the Zacks report after earnings. So you can see that guidance bump, and you can get all the details here on the segments. So if you just search, this came out January 27th, and you can find out where the revenues are coming from. Again, it's primarily cystic fibrosis. Sort of an optionality play here with Vertex is that they are the big brother to CRISPR Pharmaceuticals. So they've got a pot on the stove for for genetic editing, gene editing with CRISPR. And you can get all the details on the quarter in this article on Zacks. So let's see if my detailed estimates page loaded. Yeah. And we can see what's on tap. So they still estimates still haven't reflected the company's guidance of a midpoint of 8.7 billion. So they're just catching up there. So that's going to rise, and we're going to get into above 15% growth for this year. Next year is projected to cross 9 billion, and nicely profitable. Here we can see this year right now, and I think this is still not where the consensus will be in a week or so as the estimates come in, but 5% growth to 1365 on EPS, and still projected 7% growth for next year already. So that's nice to see. All right, so that's Vertex, and I wanted to show you the call from Jefferies. Yeah. So Michael Yee is one of my favorite biotech analysts. He's like the managing director at Jefferies, and he says after the Q4 results, that was $500 million above consensus. He continues to like the stock as a franchise pick. Well, I didn't even read that before. I mean, that's what I call it too. It's his top large cap idea in biotech. He calls it the best large cap biotech name in this market. Vertex has gone from having a pipeline problem perception in 2020 to now having many pipeline programs looking good, especially all in the last 3 to 4 months. Okay, so thus it was subdued under $200 for a while there, and now the facts are clear. The company has reported a couple solid quarters, gave not just clear guidance on top and bottom line, but also on pipeline developments. So Yee says he thinks a competitor overhang in cystic fibrosis should pass, and believes a bunch of positive readouts, all in late 21. I think that's a typo there. It should be 22 because this was just from last week on Thursday. He sees visibility into future growth over the next 3 to 5+ years. And Yee concludes that the stock should recover, or already is, and head towards his price target of 275. Okay, so that's a good overview of Vertex and why I think, if you're not already long, as I am, then, where would I buy it? I'd be buying it as it, if it pulls back and tests, 230, 235. That's a good place for new longs or to add. All right, next up is Brian Bolin with his top pick.
Thank you, Cooker, for that. And I am Brian Bolin. I am the aggressive growth stock strategist here at Zacks, and I have my top stock pick for the week, and it's Beacon Roofing Supply. It's BECN is the ticker. It's a Zacks rank number 2. That makes it a buy. It's got an A for value and a B for growth. This is obviously a roofing company, and if we take a look at what's been going on here in the roofing world, and at least in their stock, we can see there was a beat a little while ago, and now we've kind of traded in a range, but the stock hasn't been decimated as many others have in this recent drawdown. Let's go ahead and take a look at the things that we like to take a look at, and that's the earnings history. We can see a lot of big beats. That's a 43%. That's a gigantic outsized beat. That's going to skew the average. Another nice beat, and then a nice little one. If we look at that average, 566%, that's way too high because the 2000 number is in there. But if we just blink those out of there and we do 60 divided by 3, we get about a 20% average. So that's good to see. Let's take a look at the estimates. How have estimates been trending for Beacon? And we can see a slight move up for this quarter, $1.17 to $1.19. Holding still for next quarter at 42 cents. For the full year, fiscal year, September is their fiscal quarter or year end. We see it moving from 481 to 504. And then next year, bumping up there by a little bit, a nickel there? That's what I call a nickel. $5.28 to $5.33. So you've got good earnings estimate movement. You've got good history of beats. And my one little thing that I've been looking at here, this is a little bit bigger company, a little stable, more stable name. I look at the sales growth. We see 6.6% this year, 3% next year. I was just looking at the roofing names just the other day, and I saw that 80% is re-roof, 20% is new construction. And I know we just saw a boom in new construction, so that number could go higher. But when we think about the valuation on a name like this, it's really pretty good. 10 times forward earnings is really great. Price to book of 2.5. Anything less than 3 is going to keep value players interested in it. price to sales, I want to see that number at 1 or above, and I only see it at 0.5. And then, there was a little bit of a slowdown. Obviously, I think there's going to be some price increases, some raw materials components in there that are going to slow down some of the growth there. But at the end of the day, when you need a new roof, you need a new roof, and you can't wait for things like this to be the thing. I mean, if you've had a 15-year roof or a 20-year roof and you're on year 14 or 15, you might be able to stretch it a little bit, but the fact of the matter is inflation's going to outlast that. If you didn't do it before the pandemic or into the beginning, then you're in trouble and you're going to have to pay a little bit more. But that's what happens. We can't have a crystal ball to see the future. So let's take a look at the chart. And we crashed in the pandemic, but then ever since then, I mean, there's been this idea of work on your home, in your home, at your home. So all those home improvement style names have really benefited from all of this. So there's been a good trend line of support here, and we can see these nice, good, consistent beats, for this stock, which is great to see. And here's the real thing coming in, and why I have this as a Zacks rank, or the Zacks rank number 2, and that's a buy. It's going to report earnings on February 3rd. So 2/3. Okay, so now we know. And according to this, I see the consensus revenue estimate is $1.58 billion, and $1.19 is the Wall Street estimate. So I think if we whiz back here, there we are. There's my $1.19. There's the consensus right there. So we can see that someone is really high on the number here at $1.32. Someone's kind of low at $1.12. But $1.19 with 6 estimates, you're looking for right around that area there. And you can see year-over-year growth at 30% on earnings is really great. So if we get that, I would expect this stock to continue to move higher. And if you think about just the overall trends and what everything's been doing over the last several years, working on your home and making sure your home is up to snuff is been a general idea. So there is this trend line of support. We're coming back to the highs that were made up here in the what does that look to be? The upper 60s, almost $65. So Beacon has withstood this recent downtrend. It's a stable name. If they produce a good earnings report and then give us a good outlook for roofing going forward for the next couple quarters, we could see this stock continue to move higher. All right, that's it for me for this week for the top stock picks of the week. Make sure you go to Zacks.com/promo to see all of our weekly promotions.